Despite the recent loss and how the season is playing out, there is a shining light on the Chicago Bulls. That is Coby White. Now, while some may have Coby White not winning most improved player, I'm going to give you three reasons why he should, and ultimately, why shouldn't even be close. Let's break that down right now. Listen, if you're new to the channel, it's your boy Pkidd. This is Chicago Bulls Breeze. The upset of the Windy City Breeze. You know what we do. You know how we get down. You know how we rock. Get to the topic. Coby White, for the most part, has done what many would consider is MI worthy production. He hasn't just increased his point total. He's actually increased his point percentage. He's actually improved, not even just from statistical standards, but even with the eye test. Looks like he. And when you really break that down, there are some things that you really just can't ignore. When it comes to what a most improved player statistic looks like, there is nothing that Coby White hasn't done. And the person over him, frankly, was already showing glimpses of that in the first place. What do I mean? Well, Coby White currently ranks second in MIP voting. Hopefully one day. But in MIP voting, he ranks second. In fact, betting odds, if you're a betting person, would say that Coby White would be a plus 150. For those who don't know, that means you would bet 100 to potentially win 150. The next best odd for someone would be Tyrese Maxey, which they to even break even would have to spend. Hopefully, I broke that down. I'm not a betting man. But nonetheless, the odd makers would say that Tyrese Maxey is the clear-cut winner and clear-cut person to win most improved. But when you really look at what Tyrese Maxey brought to the table, what he's done, and the leap between what he did last year with James Harden and what he has this year without James Harden, it's not even close to what. In fact, if you go year by year, and I invite you all to actually listen to look that up yourselves, Tyrese Maxey went from 20 points a game to 25 points a game, and he's actually shooting worse in every other than he was. Worse from three. And this is probably to be expected with someone who was now in a starting role, who was now the focal point of an offense, especially with Joel Embiid not being there. And the simple fact that they do have a better record than the Bulls, I guess that would be one of the reasons why you say, hey, he improved. But he also still has a better collective team. And most improved player is just that, most improved player. That would be a team category. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Tyrese Maxey. Made a considerable leap in his assist total, but with everything else slacking, it makes me wonder how you were not gone. Who didn't just do a 5-point jump, didn't do a 7-point jump. Coby White has increased his average by 10 whole points while having a near identical increase in assists per game as Tyrese Maxey, while actually shooting the same, if not better, than he did. With him now being in the same position where focal point. Now again, James Harden, that whole thing that happened so early on, and you look at that situation, it goes, yeah, but still. And then Joel Embiid goes, yeah, but still. And you can make rhyme or reason where DeMar DeRozan is still there. And I'm not negating that. But if I was to poll 100 random people and ask them who had the better team as it stands, no one is going to pick the Chicago Bulls over the. Now, as a Bulls channel, I don't want to be smirched, and I don't want to sit there and be disparaging against the Bulls, but I also want to be factual. When it comes down to most improved player, we tend to look at the team success and say, well, this person did that. And I don't look at Tyrese Maxey as the sole reason that they're winning. But what I can say for the Chicago Bulls is that Coby White legitimately was the sole reason that they started to make a climb, because if it wasn't for his production, and I have to get credit to a couple, I'm not going to be that much of a. But there is a clear rhyme and reason in direct correlation between us increasing our odds to even break 500 versus how we started before then. It just is. Now, I'm not here to just sit here and say that I want Coby White to it. I think credit needs to go where credit is deserved. And Coby White has put in the work. He has 68 games played so far this season. And at this point, with the point totals increasing and being more, again, all the things that we already outlined, there's no rhyme or reason for him not to be. Now, you can look at some of the latest performances and you may sit there and say, oh, where he shot 2 for 11 from the field against. But bad shooting nights happen. Shooters shoot. Shooters streak. Shooters also go through slumps. He's a shooter. What do you expect? And in the game that we're talking about, he hits one or two of those three. Game, it goes entirely different direction. All in all, what I love to see is that Coby White is finally coming on. I love the fact that we're even able to have the conversation. Coby White is hosting. That is something. That is something to actually be excited about, because at the end of the day, we're Bulls fans. We represent this team to represent the city. We represent the players. Excuse me. We cheer the players that represent the team as well. And Coby White has not just put on for himself. He's put it on for the Chicago Bulls, who, in this midst of mediocrity, is kind of showing that maybe just sticking it out a little longer with certain talent and give them the proper opportunity. Fortunately, it came via injury or trade, however you want to. May be worthwhile. And maybe there is some slight method to the madness for AK, because we've seen this before. We've seen AK actually take this same approach with someone who is now considered a premier guard in the league in Jamal Murray. In fact, that's actually going to be on one of our next episodes. We're going to break down the similarities between Coby White and Jamal Murray, because believe it or not, but all in all, we're in the space where maybe we're not being a playoff team. Maybe we won't be in those conversations. What we can sit here and look at the building blocks that are there and see how we've locked down some young talent who's up and coming. Coby White may not be the all-star yet. He's definitely on his way. And with the way that the AK has actually extended him for the next 3 years, we could have a very underrated person, underpaid, once it's all said and done, because he's on his way. Love to see it. But I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear whether or not you believe Coby White is most improved. I want to hear whether or not you think this is something that was worthwhile. Because, again, I understand we're below 500. We're probably not going to make the playoffs. Just is what it is. But it's been one rocky road with this. At the end of the day, we need something to cheer for. Coby White's. Let me hear your thoughts. Love what I say. Put it in the chat. I'll be in there with you next time. Peace.